Although science is skeptical about the existence of otherworldly beings and various monsters, plenty of accounts of such encounters continue to appear online. People share frightening stories and sometimes support them with shocking footage. In this video, I present a selection of moments involving encounters with incredible creatures that no one would believe existed if not for video evidence. Enjoy watching. During a trip through Orlando, Florida, a man noticed an unusual creature in a small pond. The creature looked like a toad, but its body was covered with a layer resembling fluff. The man captured the animal on camera and posted the video online. Some users suggested that it was not fluff, but a growth of silt or algae that had settled on the amphibian's skin. Others believed that the toad may be suffering from a rare mutation. Despite active discussion, viewers never managed to reach a common opinion. A farmer from Australia encountered an unexplained phenomenon on his own ranch. At first, he noticed that one of the sheep had disappeared, but he thought it was a coincidence. However, the animals on the farm continued to behave extremely nervously, and the man did not understand the reason. The situation became clear only after several days. The farmer saw with his own eyes who had been frightening the livestock. A few meters away from him stood a strange creature. It moved on two legs like a human, but at the same time clearly resembled a wolf. Despite his fear, the farmer managed to capture the mysterious being on camera. After that, the creature quickly disappeared from view. To the relief of the ranch owner, the monster has not appeared on his property since then. Friends launched a drone near the Hoya forest in Romania. The footage from the drone camera shocked them. They saw two figures, one resembling a human and the other a yeti. It seemed that the monster was chasing the poor person. The person was losing pace and strength, while the pursuers stopped for a moment, as if giving them a chance to catch their breath, but then continued the chase. The quality of the footage does not allow the figures to be identified with certainty, but the size and manner of movement of the second creature clearly look abnormal. This incident once again drew attention to the Hoya forest, which has been associated with paranormal phenomena for decades, including UFO sightings. A blogger was testing a new drone. He launched the device near an abandoned building to check the signal range and filming quality, but suddenly a dark figure appeared near a street lamp. According to the blogger, he was carefully watching the surroundings, and at that moment, no one had come out of the building or walked toward the lamp. It seemed as if the figure had appeared out of nowhere. It stood motionless, almost blending into the darkness, and was visible only thanks to the weak light of the lamp. After a few seconds, the figure disappeared as if dissolving into the air. After the video was published, viewers began actively discussing this incident. Some claimed it was an optical illusion or a camera glitch, while others saw signs of paranormal activity in what had happened. The owner of the YouTube channel, Furious Otter, decided to test a new drone in the picturesque surroundings of Cannock Chase in the British county of Staffordshire. At first, nothing strange was noticed, but soon the device recorded a mysterious figure with dark hair and white clothing. Although the recording was made from a great distance, the creature seemed to notice the drone and looked at it with contempt, after which it disappeared among the trees. After publication, the video quickly gained many views. Most viewers from among the county's residents came to the conclusion that it was the ghost of a girl about whom legends are told in Cannock Chase. In June 2022, a paranormal researcher from Malaysia went into the forest of Taman Negara National Park. The reason for this adventure was reports of local residents encountering a terrifying creature that appears among banana trees. The researcher spent several nights in the forest, carefully studying the area and listening to the sounds. Finally, late at night, he noticed a strange figure in the shadow of the trees. He immediately recognized it as a pocong, a ghost from Indonesian mythology. A pocong is commonly described as the spirit of a dead person who could not find peace. According to belief, it looks like a person tightly wrapped in a white burial shroud. If 40 days after burial, the soul of the deceased cannot free itself from the shroud, the body turns into a pocong. Pocongs can pass through walls, and they can also appear and disappear. They are most often encountered near banana trees, but sometimes also in abandoned houses and on roads. The monster's behavior is unpredictable. Some spirits come to people with a request for help or a warning, while others deliberately frighten and torment the living. Hunters using modern equipment to observe forest animals encountered a terrifying creature. The monster moved at astonishing speed and resembled a hybrid of a human and a deer. Surprisingly, the hunters managed to capture the mysterious being and place it in a sturdy cage. In the published footage, the creature's appearance can be clearly seen. It had a humanoid body and a deer head with massive antlers. The hunters are certain that it was the mythical Wendigo spirit from the legends of the indigenous peoples of North America. However, the creature's further fate remains a mystery. The hunters do not reveal what they did with the monster after catching it. An old video of a strange ritual is once again gaining popularity online. In the footage, we see people in white clothes holding candles and standing in a circle. Then a young girl appeared in the center. After a few seconds, she began to float above the ground. The video was published by an anonymous user, and the filming location remains unknown, which only adds to the mystery of what is happening. Users are actively discussing the video. Some consider it staged, while others are looking for a paranormal explanation. However, the meaning of the ritual continues to remain a mystery. A farmer from a small settlement began noticing strange phenomena on his property. At night, he heard terrifying sounds, scraping, moans, and footsteps, although the yard was empty. One day, he even saw a translucent figure flash near the barn. Deciding to understand what was happening, the farmer installed a surveillance camera at the gate. The next night, the camera recorded a mysterious figure. It appeared from the darkness, walked straight through the fence as if it did not exist, and began wandering around the farm. The creature had a human shape but looked translucent. It walked around several buildings, stopped near one of them, and then disappeared from the frame. The farmer watched the recording in the morning and was stunned by what he saw. The only creature that could look like that is a ghost. However, the man still does not understand where this spirit came from or what it wants. In January 2025, workers at Neptune Beach, located near Jacksonville in Florida, witnessed an incredible event. On the shore, they found a giant dragon. The footage filmed by eyewitnesses leaves no doubt that it really was a dragon and not any animal known to science. It had massive wings, a long neck, and scaly skin. To the people's surprise, the creature was alive. After examining it and making sure it was breathing, the beach employees decided to leave for help. However, when the group returned to the location with experts, the dragon was already gone. Apparently, it regained its strength and flew away, leaving only tracks in the sand behind. Rangers in Tongass National Park in Alaska were inspecting the area using a drone with a thermal camera. At one point, the device detected a person near a group of deer. At first, the staff thought it was a lost tourist and decided to come to the rescue. But what happened next made them abandon the idea of going into the forest. The person suddenly changed shape and turned into a tall, thin creature with huge deer antlers. The Rangers recognized it as a Wendigo, a mythical cannibal spirit. According to the legends of the indigenous peoples of North America, a warrior who sold his soul to save his tribe, or a person who gave in to dark magic, can turn into a Wendigo. These creatures are known for their great height and extreme thinness, have sharp hearing and night vision, and their hunger can never be satisfied. It is believed that Wendigos lure victims with whistling or with the voice of a loved one. In Middle Harbour in Sydney, a group of experienced fishermen were preparing for ordinary fishing. The men were inspecting the water area with a drone, and noticed something strange beneath the surface. They saw a huge pale green creature with a body resembling jelly. The fishermen were shocked by what they saw and decided not to take risks. They refused to fish in that area because they had never seen anything like it, neither in the sea nor in photographs. Late at night in Moorhead, Kentucky, a woman received an alert from her security system about movement near the garage. She checked the camera recordings and was horrified to see that near the building was not a person, but a strange, pale, thin creature. Its outline was blurred, and its gait inspired fear. The homeowner immediately called the police, but by the time they arrived, the mysterious being had disappeared without a trace. The camera footage was too dark for clear identification of the creature, but local residents claim that similar encounters with it have already been recorded in the area. In the valley of Yosemite National Park, California, a woman walking through an area with sheer cliffs noticed unusual figures below. Some of them were clearly horses, while others looked like strange hybrids. She began filming and zoomed in to make sure her eyes were not deceiving her. The camera clearly recorded creatures that were half horse and half human. After returning home, the tourist posted the video online. Viewers noted that these beings were very similar to centaurs, mythical creatures from ancient Greek legends, half human and half horse. It is difficult to believe in the reality of what was seen, since science does not confirm their existence. An experienced climber decided to ascend one of the mountains in the Canadian region of Nunavut. On the day of the climb, the weather was extremely unfavorable, so he found himself completely alone in the mountains. Despite the extreme conditions, he managed to reach the summit, and at that moment, something unexpected caught his attention. On a neighboring peak, a mysterious creature was calmly wandering around. It was of impressive size, and its body was covered with thick fur. When the climber posted the video of this creature online, most users agreed that it was the Snowman. Two tourists were heading toward the Ijen volcano on the island of Java in Indonesia and accidentally strayed from the trail. While trying to find the path again, they witnessed a frightening sight. In the distance, the tourists noticed a group of people in snow-white clothes. The strangers' faces were hidden. They stood in a tight circle and made strange movements, as if performing a ritual. Everything about this encounter caused anxiety. The remote place far from tourist routes, the unusual clothing, and the atmosphere of the mysterious rite itself. The travelers quietly captured what was happening on camera, then hurried to leave the place as quickly as possible. What kind of ritual the tourists witnessed remains a mystery. Even local residents could not give a clear answer to this question. In November 2023, a popular YouTuber who specializes in exploring abandoned places went with a drone to the outskirts of a small town. His target was a long-abandoned farm about which dark rumors circulated among local residents. Using the drone, the blogger began inspecting the area. The footage from above showed an overgrown yard and leaning outbuildings. When the drone flew up to one of the farm buildings, the blogger saw a pale humanoid creature there that was eating something. In appearance, it strongly resembled the so-called Rake, a character from urban legends that originated online. According to stories, it is a tall creature with long limbs that allegedly appears in rural areas, especially near abandoned houses and farms. Encounters with it are linked to unexplained disappearances of people and strange sounds at night. Although there is no scientific confirmation of the existence of such a monster, this video still caused heated discussion on the internet. A park ranger in the state of Florida made an unexpected discovery during a routine inspection of the territory using a drone. Over a body of water, the camera recorded that under the water there was a giant creature with a thin, long neck. Shocked by what he saw, the man remembered the legends of the Loch Ness Monster and immediately reported it to management. Thorough investigations were carried out in the body of water, but the mysterious monster could not be found. Most skeptics suggest that it may have been an optical illusion or a large animal mistaken for a mythical creature. However, the eyewitness himself is certain that it was a real monster. Footage taken in one of the forests of the state of Oklahoma caused heated discussion online. The video shows a giant humanoid figure. The creature moves on two legs. Its body resembles a human body, but it is completely covered with thick fur, and its height is at least 2.5 meters. The quality of the footage makes it possible to see all the details: massive limbs, a broad chest, and the outline of a head without clearly distinguishable facial features. Almost all viewers who watched the video agreed that the footage showed Bigfoot, the legendary creature that allegedly lives in the forests of America. Friends were exploring an abandoned building and found an unusual owl in one of the rooms. The bird was sitting in a corner, its long neck was unnaturally bent, and its movements looked frightening. The owl turned its head strangely and spread its wings at the same time, as if trying to drive away the uninvited guests. Intrigued by the bird's unusual appearance and strange behavior, the friends captured it on camera. After filming, they decided not to disturb the owl and left the room. The video quickly spread online, and users began arguing over whether this was a feature of the species or a sign of illness in the owl. A tourist vacationing at the Araman-Formigal ski resort in the Pyrenees, in Spain, heard a loud roar from the forest and decided to check what it was. Thinking it was a bear, he sent a drone with a camera into the forest. The footage obtained from the drone amazed the man. Instead of a bear, he saw a giant humanoid creature whose body was covered with thick, dark fur. After the video was published online, users actively discussed what they had seen and concluded that the creature looked very much like Bigfoot. Who knows? Perhaps it really was him. In 2015, in the Lacandon jungle in Mexico, soldiers on patrol using a drone with a thermal camera recorded a mysterious phenomenon. In the dense forest among the trees, they noticed a strange creature. It was tall, had thin, long limbs and an elongated torso. Even more surprising was the fact that nearby forest animals did not react in any way to the presence of the unusual being. They behaved calmly, as if the monster were part of their familiar habitat. The soldiers decided to go to the place where the unusual creature had been spotted, but when they arrived there, they found no one. An experienced climber shared a video recording made during an ascent in the Swiss Alps. After climbing to the top of a flat rock, he noticed something shocking on the neighboring mountain ridges. A strange creature, vaguely resembling a human, was wandering through the mountains. However, it stood out because of its giant height and elongated, disproportionate body. The climber kept his composure and managed to capture the mysterious being on his smartphone camera. He posted the video online in the hope of receiving comments from experts. However, there is still no clear answer as to who or what this creature was. In April 2025, a farmer from Mexico discovered an enormous humanoid creature on his property. It moved on two legs like a human, but its body was covered with thick fur. In addition, this monster had a wolf-like muzzle. The farmer managed to record a short video before the creature disappeared into the nearby forest. After the video was published, it turned out that this was not the first such case in the area. A couple of years earlier, other farmers had reported encounters with similar monsters, and in those cases, people saw not one, but an entire group of mystical creatures. Back then, the story remained unexplained, and now local residents are wondering what it is, a species of animal unknown to science or a real monster. An employee of the Ministry of Nature Protection, who was surveying an area in the Black Forest, made an unexpected discovery. While filming with a drone, he noticed something among the trees that resembled the remains of an enormous creature. Deciding to study the object in more detail, the specialist lowered the drone to a smaller altitude and became convinced that the size of the find was truly impressive. Together with a team of experts, He tried to approach the place, but it was impossible to get there because dense thickets and wide, swampy areas blocked the way. In the end, the find remained a mystery. It is quite possible that one day specialists will manage to reach it. A farmer decided to check the condition of his fields using a drone. At first, everything went well, but after only a few minutes of flight, he noticed 3 people in one of the remote areas. They were dressed in black clothing and wore white masks that completely hid their faces. The figures stood in a circle and appeared to be performing some kind of ritual. The farmer directed the drone closer to see the details. At that moment, the people seemed to notice the aircraft, and all 3 turned toward it. The farmer hurried to bring the drone back, fearing that the strangers might damage the equipment. That same evening, he decided to go personally to the site of the strange rite. When he arrived at the plot, the man found no traces of anyone's presence. Everything looked as if no one had ever been there. In 2019, a video with a mystical story from an eyewitness appeared online. The man suffered from insomnia, so he went outside at night to get some fresh air. It was during this walk that he noticed a mysterious figure on a deserted road. The man immediately recognized it as a pocong, a spirit from myths condemned to wander in a white shroud and unable to leave this world. The ghost noticed the man and began begging for help. This sight frightened the author of the video so much that he ran home, managing only to record a short clip of the encounter with the otherworldly being. A resident of Utah encountered a real monster while walking through a remote area. The creature was more than 2.5 meters tall. Its body resembled a human body, but its head was goat-like, and it had hooves instead of feet. Shocked by what he saw, the man decided to follow the monster and film it. Eventually, the creature came to a cave that served as its shelter. The man decided not to enter the cave because he understood that he would not be able to stand against such a powerful creature if it noticed he was following it. After the video was published, local residents recalled old legends about goat-legged beings living in the mountains, but there had previously been no official confirmation of encounters with them. During a walk in a mountainous area, a tourist decided to film himself. Suddenly, he heard a terrifying roar that frightened him. The man assumed the sounds were coming from a bear and hurried to leave the dangerous place. When he returned home, he watched the recording and was shocked by what he saw. It turned out that, in the background behind the top of a rock, an enormous creature had been hiding. After enlarging the image, the tourist saw a real mountain giant. Its height apparently exceeded 20 meters, its skin was gray, and its torso was massive and powerful. The man was very surprised that he had not noticed the giant during the walk. Perhaps then he would have been able to take more detailed pictures of the creature. 2 tourists went hiking through a dense forest and got lost. They could not be found for several days. Then one of the rescuers decided to use a drone to inspect hard-to-reach areas. The device rose above the trees and began recording the surrounding area. Suddenly, the camera captured something frightening. Near the trees, a translucent figure was moving slowly. It was wearing a jacket and pants resembling the gear of one of the missing tourists. But the most terrifying thing was that the ghost had no head. Realizing that it might be the ghost of one of the missing people frightened the rescuer greatly, and he immediately brought the drone back and left the search area. A tourist was heading toward the central part of the Deccan Plateau in India and decided to check the route using a camera. With the help of a drone, he carefully inspected the terrain ahead. Suddenly, among dry branches, he noticed a tall, dark figure. The image was blurry, but the figure still caused concern because its outline resembled a real Bigfoot. The tourist decided not to continue his hike, and when he returned to the hotel, he posted the drone video online. Most viewers agreed with the Bigfoot theory, having no other explanations. While on duty near the Hejaz Mountains in Saudi Arabia, a patrol officer recorded a mysterious incident. Observing the area, he noticed strange movement in the distance and immediately began filming. After zooming in, he saw a tall humanoid creature that looked very strange. Its hunched posture, pale skin, and completely disproportionate limbs showed that it was definitely not human. Its excessively long arms and torso were especially noticeable. The creature moved slowly through the area until it disappeared from view behind dense shrubs. The officer immediately reported what had happened to his superiors, but the mysterious being could not be identified. Travelers exploring a remote forest encountered an amazing creature. It was short and solidly built. Its body was covered with thick fur, and long hair fell almost to its knees. In appearance, the creature resembled a gnome, although we are all used to thinking of gnomes as fairy tale characters. When the creature noticed the people, it did not show fear and did not try to hide. Instead, it came closer and raised its eyes, looking at the travelers with a gaze that clearly showed awareness. The eyewitnesses are still trying to find an answer to who they met, but so far without success. A tourist traveling through Zhangjiajie National Park in China noticed that strange clouds had descended near the river. She decided to take a closer look at this phenomenon. However, when the woman approached the body of water, she saw an amazing creature that seemed to have stepped out of a fairy tale. The tourist captured it on camera and posted the video online. People in China were very surprised by what they saw because they immediately recognized the creature as a Keelin, a noble mythical beast from Eastern folklore. The Keelin is considered a sacred creature, a herald of happy events, and a symbol of prosperity. According to legends, it appears only in times of peace and prosperity or at the birth of a great sage. The Keelin never harms people, which is why many people in China dream of meeting it. In Indonesia, a woman decided to visit an abandoned house belonging to her relatives. She arrived there after sunset, and as she approached the house, she saw something terrifying. From the window, a frightening creature with black fur, thin horns, and a face resembling a demon was staring at her. Overcoming her horror, the woman recorded a short video and then hid in a shed in panic. She spent the whole night there. In the morning, the woman hurried home and firmly decided never to return to that place again. On June 4th, 2023, a man was driving to his parents for the weekend and encountered a group of people in white clothing on a deserted road. They were circling around a flame, as if performing an ancient ritual ceremony. When the car approached, the participants suddenly rushed toward it and tried to catch up. In panic, the driver pressed the gas and drove away as quickly as possible. Once he was safe, he immediately reported the incident to the police, but no traces of the group could be found. The mystery of this encounter remains unsolved. An extraordinary incident happened to a tourist during a hike in the Atacama Mountains. He noticed a rock of unusual shape that resembled a human head. The man decided to record what he saw on camera, but suddenly the situation took a frightening turn. The traveler felt the ground tremble under his feet, and a giant silhouette began to slowly break out of the rock itself. Shocked by what he saw, the tourist immediately turned off the camera and quickly left the scene. For this reason, what happened next remains a mystery. Near the remote headwaters of the Amazon River in Brazil, researchers recorded one of the uncontacted tribes from the air. The footage, obtained with aerial photography equipment, showed that all members of the community cover their bodies with bright red dye made from annatto seeds and use Stone Age tools. These people believe that the dye helps them become stronger and younger, and also protects their skin from the scorching sun. Jose Carlos Meireles, who has observed the tribe for more than 20 years as part of his work with Brazil's Department of Indian Affairs, says that around the Amazon River there are about 67 tribes that reject contact with the outside world. They have lived in these forests for more than 1,000 years, but they are gradually dying out. Deforestation and contact with loggers and hunters negatively affect the lives of the tribes. so the authorities urge people to limit visits to the places where these people live in order to preserve their unique culture and ensure the safety of both the tribe and potential visitors. A photographer was shooting mountain landscapes in the Scottish Northwest Highlands when he suddenly noticed a fantastic creature on one of the slopes. According to him, he had never seen anything like it before. The creature resembled an ancient dinosaur. It had rough, spiny skin and an incredibly long tail. Trying not to attract the monster's attention, the photographer quickly recorded a short video with his camera. After that, he decided to leave the meeting place immediately before the creature noticed him. Experts are not yet commenting on the identification of this creature. However, some viewers have already expressed a desire to investigate the location of the encounter. Recently, the owner of the YouTube channel Golden Hour, known for eerie drone videos, published a new video. This time, the blogger explored a large cornfield. At one point, the drone camera recorded a figure in a frightening clown mask and orange clothing. During filming, the stranger looked directly at the drone, then rushed off and quickly disappeared among the tall corn stalks. The video became the subject of active discussion. Some suggest that it was a prank, while others believe it could have been a maniac in a clown costume. At one of the cemeteries in the state of Delaware, the caretaker heard strange sounds for several nights in a row. Deciding to find out the cause of the phenomenon, the man dared to go out into the cemetery at night. What he saw shocked him. Several ghostly figures resembling children were slowly moving among the graves. The silhouettes would appear and then dissolve into the darkness, as if playing with the observer. The caretaker managed to film what was happening. Many viewers believe that this video material is convincing proof of the existence of ghosts. Friends decided to launch a drone over an abandoned complex of shipping containers. At first, nothing strange happened, but then the guys noticed 3 people wearing pig masks and aprons coming out of one container. After noticing the drone, the strangers went back into the building and a few minutes later returned, but now each of them had a chainsaw in their hands. The masked men headed toward the car where the drone owners were sitting. This caused panic, and the friends decided to leave the place immediately. A man was returning home as usual after a night shift. His route passed through a cemetery, and it was there that he noticed a strange creature. It was a tiny humanoid being with brown skin, cautiously moving toward the bushes. The eyewitness froze, afraid of scaring the mysterious creature away. He watched it for several minutes and even managed to film a short video. In the end, the man decided not to disturb the creature and left the place without ever understanding whom he had met. Some boys decided to test a new drone and chose an abandoned farm on the outskirts of town for their exploration. They planned to film picturesque shots of half-ruined buildings, but what appeared in the lens shocked them. After watching the recording from the drone camera, the boys saw a strange figure come out of an old house. The creature resembled a person with long, tangled hair, but it moved in a completely unnatural way, as if on bent legs, with jerky movements. It created the impression that a monster from a horror film had appeared in front of the camera. The boys still cannot understand what it was, a mentally ill person or something supernatural. And that is all from me. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. Your activity is the best reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.